Good afternoon. We'd like to dedicate this Dvar Torah, Parsha Hashavua, Parshat Tavo. It's dedicated by Elizabeth Dorfman, and it's in loving memory of Eliyahu ben Chaim. Hashem Yikom Damo, that he died al Kiddush Hashem. And that's always a very, very great zchut, and he should have his neshama should have a special aliyah began Eden. In Parshat Tavo, the parasha describes that when Am Yisrael comes to Eretz Yisrael, one of the first things that they have to do when they cross over the Jordan is that they go to two mountains near Shechem, Har Eival and Har Gerizim, and what they do is they have to ratify or go through another mini covenant between Bnei Yisrael and Hashem. And at that covenant, they recite 12, or they're subjected to 12 oaths and 12 oaths, which I say amen, to 12 blessings and to 12 curses. Then the Torah says what's written in those 12 curses. You can look in Parshat Tavo, Perek Chav Zayin. And one of the blessings and curses is that it's connected to Kibud Avayim. It says, Arur Makli Aviv Ve'imo V'amar Kol Ha'am Amen. They would say, cursed is the person who, Makli Aviv Ve'imo. What is that? How is that translated? So Rabbi Hertz, in his Chumash, he translates as dishonors his father or his mother. Because he's, I suppose, working off the assumption that, let's say, if honor comes from the root of kaved et avicha, and this kaved means heavy, and now this says makle. Makle is connected to the word light. So if kaved, which means heavy, is connected to honoring, then kal, which is light, is in other words to treat them lightly, and it means therefore got a connotation of dishonoring. That's how he understands. And the Meshech Chochmah, though, says got a very, very interesting, fascinating definition of what is this makle. It's not just a matter that a person didn't honor his father and mother, but what it means is that there's something which warrants a blessing if he does it, and an arur, a curse, if he doesn't do it. So what is the definition of makle? The Meshech Chochmah says that what it means is that a person takes advantage of the love that parents have for the children. In other words, he knows that, as we all know, that parents love their children basically unconditionally. As the Michtam Eliyahu already has discussed in his Michtam Eliyahu, parents are givers and children are receivers. And the one who gives is always more attached to the one who receives. So parents always, their love for children is always greater than children to their parents. And therefore, Makle Aviv Ve'imo means a person who says to himself, you know what, I'll do this or that, I'll hurt Chas v'Chalila, my father or my mother in this way, and no, nishkafelach, it's not so bad, because since they have this tremendous and boundless love for me, so therefore no, I don't have to worry, because you know what, they'll forgive and they'll forget, and we can go on further. So that's the Arura and the Baruch. The Meshech Chochmah says that there's a special, it's not only a matter of dishonoring, it's a person who exploits, a person who uses the fact that his parents love him so much, he uses that as an excuse to hurt his parents, because he says, you know what, after all said and done, I know that I can get away with it. He doesn't even have to put it in that way. But he thinks to himself that it's not so bad if he hurts his parents, because his parents love him. And now, Erev Rosh Hashanah, I'd like to extend what the Meshech Chochmah's definition is, to extend it to not only our physical father and mother, our parents who are our biological parents, but also to our Father in heaven. So we know that what does it mean that a person arur makli aviv ve'imo? What it means, it would mean, it's connected to what the Gemara in Masechet Yoma says, that a person who says, you know what, I'll sin and I'll do tshuva later, it'll be okay. So that's laka the arur. It's a person who now is saying, you know what, I'll sin. And I know that since that my Father in heaven, He's someone who really wants me to do tshuva. Every single morning and every single 3 times a day in the Shemona Esrei, when we speak about the blessing of tshuva, how do we end it off? Baruch atah Hashem harotzeh b'tshuva. What Hashem, more than anything else, is that He wants a deep will. That's His will, that He wants the people to do tshuva. So a person says, you know what? I'll do a sin. And I know that my Father in heaven wants me, and there's nothing greater will than Hashem wanting a person to do tshuva. So then, as the Mishnah says, that a person who's got such an attitude, tshuva actually doesn't help for him. A person who says, echte v'ashuv, I'll sin and it will be okay, I'll do tshuva, I'll sin and it will be tshuva. So dafka, then the tshuva does not work. Why? Because the tshuva is the reason for the sin. Since the tshuva is the reason for the sin, the tshuva can't be the one that's now coming to atone for the sin. So this is a very fascinating Meshech Chochmah, and I'd like to just extend it one step further, and that is that the Arur and the Baruch are speaking about parents. It says Arur Makle Aviv Ve'imo. And we extended it to for our parent in heaven. But I think that it means it can be not only parents. I think that many times in society, especially now, we like a day after the Bechirot, there are many people and parties, leaders, prime ministers and others that, they exploit people because they realize that because that people have got a certain commitment, they shirk their duty because they say, no doubt, we can count on others. So that's Arur Makle V'Aviv, and it applies to all these cases.